Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to our online service here on Facebook. We're certainly missing seeing everyone in person, but we're blessed to be able to have online worship. As always, if you have any prayer praises or prayer requests that you would like to share, you can drop them in the comment section below or send our Facebook page a private message, and we'll be glad to respond. We've heard some great messages from Pastor Randy Rooks and Miss Patty Hutchison over the last few weeks, but today I'll be speaking. My name's Brittany, and my message will be on the topic of uncertainty. That's one that Pastor Randy has often preached about in the past, but I felt like it will be a good one to bring up, since we've got so much uncertainty going on in the world today with all that's going on. I'd like to offer some of my own thoughts regarding this topic. So I'll get started. By definition, uncertainty can be defined as a state of being uncertain. Synonyms of the word uncertain include doubt, suspicious, skepticism, and mistrust. Unfortunately, we're currently living in a very uncertain world and a very uncertain time. For example, I'll use COVID-19 since that seems to be what has really changed our world right now. Many people are facing financial uncertainties, job uncertainties, and even uncertainties among friends and families. Many people are unsettled because there's so much conflicting information that's out there, and nobody really feels comfortable with what could be the truth. Some people do one thing while others do something else. Everyone has a differing opinion on what is correct. And we're all wondering if the world will ever actually go back to normal, or if this way of life will essentially become our new normal. Although we have this overwhelming uncertainty in the world, the one thing that is for sure certain is that God is in control. God is in control of this entire situation. He always has been, and He always will be. Even before we knew about COVID-19, God knew about COVID-19. He knew about the uncertainty it would bring us. He knew how it would change our world, and He knew how we all would feel. But God has a plan for us, and we will soon know it and find out why these uncertain situations like COVID-19 has affected us so much. When we face uncertain times, it is easy for us to become scared and want to hide. This is exactly what Satan wants us to do. Instead, we should do right the opposite. Psalm 56:3 says, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you." This is exactly what we need to do. We need to trust the Lord that He will bring us through even the toughest situations. COVID-19 has brought a lot of fear on everyone. People are severely impacted by this virus. They're becoming ill and even dying. This is terrifying for anyone to think about as a possibility of even happening. Instead of letting fear run our lives, let's look at what Isaiah 41:13 says. "For I am the Lord your God who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, 'Do not fear.'" Again, we must not fear or panic, but we can certainly be cautious and aware of what's going on. Ephesians 6:10-11 says, "Finally, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." We must stand together to fight this common enemy that we call COVID-19. Not only has it caused uncertainty and fear, but people are angry. People are angry that COVID-19 has changed their way of life and brought uncertainty over the world. And that's okay. It's okay that we feel angry because we're only human, and that's a normal feeling for us to have. However, we must not give in to our anger and let it overtake our lives to where we're bitter all the time. Ephesians 4:26-27 says, "In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you're still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold." When we face uncertainty, we tend to want to focus on the negative aspects of what's going on around us. We hardly tend to zone in on what could be something that's positive. Again, for example, COVID-19 has changed our world, and we can look at what positive things have happened with this. I've noticed myself that families are spending more time together. I see my neighbors spending more time outside with their own families. They're participating in fun activities. They're making memories. They're being safe, of course. And research says that the environment is actually turning out to be somewhat cleaner because less people are out and about and driving their vehicles and littering. And people and businesses have come together to provide support for COVID-19, such as making masks, surgical caps, donating food and other items to healthcare workers, and donating to families in need. There's fundraising taking place for COVID relief. And also, let's not forget that even though we tend to focus on the deaths and all that COVID-19 has calls, which are certainly important, but let's also not forget that there are people that have had COVID-19 that they are recovering and they are recovered, and that's a positive thing. So we've discussed uncertainty and how it can affect us, such as being fearful or angry. We've listed a couple of Bible verses and we've read what they've said regarding fear and anger. Overall, what can we do to help us get through an uncertain time? First, we can pray. God is always listening to us, no matter what our prayers may sound like. Pray hard and pray often. Secondly, we must accept the fact that uncertainty is a part of life, and it's inevitable. It will happen, and we have to learn how to manage it as best we can. This is where prayer can also help, because we can pray for the strength to handle uncertainty. Lastly, we must stay strong. We have the Lord on our side, and with God all things are possible. This verse, Matthew 19:26, is all too familiar to us, and should be one that we all keep close to our hearts. It's easy for us to want to give up, because sometimes that seems to be the easiest way out, which is exactly what Satan wants. But again, we should pray for the strength to stay strong amongst any uncertainty. A couple of days ago, I was listening to the radio on my way to work, and a pastor came on and began preaching a message on uncertainty and anxiety. He read some comforting verses and made several good points. However, one point really stuck out to me. He discussed that bad things do happen in the world and that they are a part of God's plan. We don't always understand why they happen, but that's part of God's plan. He went on to say that while these things happen, God keeps us and sees us through. This statement puzzled me because I wasn't quite sure what it meant. But then the pastor explained that when we find ourselves in times of uncertainty, when he says that God keeps us, he meant that God will keep us safe, and he also keeps us in the situation to allow us to grow and to seek trust in him. And then God will see us through the situation by being with us. God never said that times of uncertainty wouldn't come, but he did say he would be there with us through it all, and he has been, and he always will be. So, just to recap and hit the high points of this message, uncertainty will happen in the world. Currently, it is happening, but God is in control always. Don't always focus on the negatives that uncertainty brings. Try to find the positives. Don't let uncertainty make you feel anxious, fearful, or angry. We can manage uncertainty by trusting in the Lord. Pray often, pray hard, stay strong, and accept the fact that uncertainty will come. But just remember, we have the mightiest partner on our side to help us through. God will keep us and see us through these times of uncertainty. And as always, God is in control. He is always in control. Thank you again for tuning in to this short and sweet online service. As always, if you need us, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can contact us through Facebook, through phone, email, text message. We love and miss all of you, and we're looking forward to when we can begin in-person worship again. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And also enjoy some of the music to follow this message now.
There's a family Bible on the table. Each page is worn and hard to read, but the family Bible on the table will ever be my key to memory. At the end of day when work was over, and when the evening meal was done, Dad would read to us from the family Bible, and we'd count our many blessings one by one. I can see us sitting round the table when from the family Bible Dad would read. I can hear my mother softly singing Rock of Ages, cleft for me. This old world of ours is full of trouble, but this world would also better be if we found more Bibles on the table and Mother singing Rock of Ages, cleft for me. I can see us sitting round the table when from the family Bible Dad would read. I can hear my mother's song softly singing, Rock of Ages, cleft for me. Rock of Ages,